Hello, everyone, and welcome to Modern English Talks, the place where we learn about interesting topics in easy-to-understand English. Today, we're going to solve a big technological mystery. What exactly is Bitcoin? You have probably heard the word Bitcoin in the news, on the internet, or from a friend talking about cryptocurrency. It sounds complicated, right? It sounds like something for finance experts or computer geniuses. Well, the goal today is simple: to explain what Bitcoin is in a way that anyone can understand. No confusing technical words. Ready? Let's go. First, to understand Bitcoin, let's think about the money we use every day: the dollar, the euro, the yen. Who controls that money? Usually it's banks and governments. If one person wants to send $10 to another, they use their banking app. The bank is the intermediary. It checks the account, sees that the money is there, takes it out of one account and puts it in the other. The bank is a central authority that records and approves everything. We trust them to keep the records correctly. Now, imagine a money system without a central bank, without a company or government controlling it. It sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? How would we know who has what money? How could we trust that the transactions are real? This is where the idea of Bitcoin comes from. The best way to think about Bitcoin is to imagine a public digital notebook. Imagine a simple notebook, like one you use for taking notes. Now imagine that this notebook isn't owned by one person or one bank. Copies of this notebook are on thousands of computers all around the world. Every time someone sends Bitcoin to another person, that transaction is written down in the notebook. For example, one person sends one Bitcoin to another person, and this new entry is sent to all the computers that have a copy of the notebook. This way, everyone has the same information. It's public and transparent. You can't cheat, because if you try to change an entry in your copy of the notebook, the other thousands of copies won't match, and the system will automatically reject your change. It is a system based on majority consensus. This public shared digital notebook is called the blockchain. Why blockchain? Because the transactions are grouped into blocks. Think of them as pages of the notebook. Once a page is filled with transactions, it is sealed and added to the end of the notebook, connecting to the previous page. This forms a chain of pages, or a blockchain. Once a block is added to the chain, it is practically impossible to change. It's super secure. Now you might be wondering, where do new Bitcoins come from and who writes the transactions in the notebook? Excellent question. This is where miners come in, but don't think of people with helmets and pickaxes. Bitcoin miners are very powerful computers. These computers compete against each other to solve a very complex math problem. The first computer that solves the puzzle earns the right to verify the latest transactions, the new page, and add it to the blockchain. As a reward for doing this work of verification and security, the miner receives a number of brand new Bitcoins, and that is how new Bitcoins are created, and how the network is kept safe and running. It's their prize for being the fastest and most efficient accountant. So let's summarize the three most important characteristics of Bitcoin. Number one, it's decentralized. This is key. There is no boss, no bank, no company, no government controls it. The network is maintained by its users and miners all over the world. Number two, it's digital. You can't touch a Bitcoin. It's not a physical coin you keep in your pocket. It is 100% digital. It only exists on the internet. It is stored in something called a digital wallet. Number three, it's limited. Here is something very interesting. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in total. There will never be more. This is part of its original rules. Just like gold, it is a scarce resource, and that is one of the reasons some people consider it valuable. Now, an important clarification. The value of a Bitcoin can change a lot, and very quickly. One day it can be worth a lot, and the next much less. It is very volatile, which is why it is considered a high-risk investment. This podcast is not financial advice. We are only here to learn how it works. So, to remember the main idea, imagine that traditional money is like a private Word document that only a bank can edit. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is like a public Google Doc that thousands of people can see. But no one can change the past once it's written. Everyone works together to make sure the information is correct. And that's it. That's the basic idea of Bitcoin. It's not a bank. It's a network. It's not a physical coin. It's digital code, and its record is not private. It's a public and ultra-secure notebook called the blockchain. Of course, there are many more details, but if you understood the concept of the shared digital notebook, you now know more than 90% of people about how Bitcoin works. Thank you for joining me today on Modern English Talks. I hope this technological mystery is a little clearer now. On our next episode, we'll be talking about artificial intelligence in everyday life, what it really is and what it isn't. You don't want to miss it. You can find our episodes on YouTube. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone else who wants to learn. Until next time.